Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into GarageBand Weekly here on Studio Live today, coming to you live from stunning Adelaide, South Australia. My name is Pete Johns. If it's your first time here, this is our weekly show all about GarageBand, about Apple-related things. You name it, if it's in the iOS or Mac world, we'll talk about it. It's kind of one of those retro things where it's called GarageBand Weekly, even though we talk about quite a bit more than just GarageBand. You know what? Once you got a name and it's a catchy name, well, at least I think so, I go with it. Welcome aboard. Today we're going to be looking at what I've gone on record as saying is my least favorite sound pack of all time. Which is the Keyboard collection. I thought it when it came out, I'm like, these were underdeveloped. These don't sound good. They're basically just samples, and as you play them up and down, they go faster and slower. They're not a real instrument. So, can I change my tune on this? Am I going to look back on it and go, hey, it's actually not that bad? We'll soon find out. The keyboards are good, but these ones in particular, in my previous experience, are not great. So we'll see. We'll find out. We'll all find out together. Hello to the folks who are here live. Let's say a quick g'day to everyone. We have Thomas Christ is back. Yes, you were missed, my friend, at Your Music Live yesterday. We had a great Your Music Live. Lots of really cool music for your ear holes. We've got Mark Bro here. Hello to you. Hello to Tremor Bear. Hello to Al Davis Music. G'day to you, my friend. I hope you are all doing swimmingly on this beautiful day or evening, depending where you are in the world. You can definitely support us around here by checking out the Patreon. You can also go to studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand for all your GarageBand related needs. That's our one-stop shop for all things GarageBand. Can you tell I'm a little bit not as organized at the moment? I'm transitioning a lot of things here in the studio and including the platform that I'm using. So it's going to be interesting for a while. Hello to our Bluey fan extraordinaire Andy Aspine. Hello to the Rise of Dark Leela as well. I hope you are doing well. Well, this is the thing. I've been off the grid for the last 12 hours, so that's something maybe we look at together. The Apple invite is out. I'm assuming that's for the iPhone. We've been waiting to hear about that, so let's check that live. Let's dive into the live news and notes here and see if we've got the Apple event for September 2024 detailed. Apple's iPhone 16 launch event is set for September. Let's jump in and check out the story here from The Verge and see what they've got to say. Oh no, it's glow time. I'm sorry, but the glow up stuff makes me throw up. I don't know what it means. It makes me feel like an old man when everything's like, it's a glow up. They did the same with the Canva event. It's like, time to glow up. I don't know, man. So what does this mean? Are they going to be like fluorescent pink color? It's glow time. Please join us in person for a special Apple event at the Steve Jobs Theatre. So it's going to be September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific, which for folks like myself means a very early morning / late night, because that looks like it's going to be September the 10th for us in the wee hours of the morning. So what do we get at these sort of things? Well, I haven't even read the details on this one, but it'll be the iPhone 16. It's always the iPhone 16. It's occasionally a little bit of extra information about iOS and iPadOS, sort of playing off the back. So my prediction for this, and we talked about it sort of last couple of weeks, was that we'll get the new iPhone 16. It'll have a slightly better camera and maybe a slightly better screen. They'll talk about how good the blacks are and how many pixels and how it's like buttery smooth. They'll still have the same boring Pro colors. Like, can we please, for the love of your deity of choice, can we get a Pro model of an iPhone that doesn't have to be grey, more different grey, silver, or more different silver? Come on, where's me red? Where's my product red iPhone Pro? I want to rock an iPhone Pro in a color that actually stands out, says the guy that wears black t-shirts pretty much 24/7. Maybe a glowing clear phone, you reckon? So I think the other thing that we'll see almost definitely is a little more about the new Siri AI, because I talked about it last week, but the the reason that they're positioning the Siri, the Apple Intelligence AI, the new Siri Pro Plus. Sorry, I need to stop saying the S word because your phones are all going to be like popping up, going, huh, "How can I help you?" But I think we're going to be seeing a little more about the Apple Intelligence stuff. And the iPhone 15 Pro model is the only one that's currently listed as supporting, which means that the 16, which will use the 15 Pro chip. I don't know this, but it's just what they always do. They always take the Pro chip from last year's model, put it in the regular model this year. So it'll be that. The 16, the 16 Pro, and the 15 Pro will be the only models that will have the full Apple Intelligence stuff, in my humble opinion. Well, we have one more thing. Let's guess. If you had to guess what the one more thing might be, what do you reckon it would be? What do you think? Because the AI, as Thomas says, the AI is going to be prominent. I can almost guarantee that they're going to be talking a lot about the AI. And weirdly, because as we know, I think, what was it, 2 years ago that Jade and I, after one of the events, we had a chat about this and we were like, Apple said every way of saying AI without saying AI at the time. They were like machine learning and automated systems and on-chip analysis. Like they just had every possible way of saying it's AI without saying AI. And they wanted to be stubborn. They wanted to say, no, we're not going to jump on this hype bandwagon. And then the hype bandwagon got too big and they had to jump on the hype bandwagon. So yes, I think we'll have that. All the 16s are getting the same chip, you reckon? Is that the rumor? Is that who's that guy, that Mark guy that does all the things? Who knows? A Mac Mini with 16 gigs of RAM for AI. Yeah, maybe. That's the thing. We haven't seen a lot of what the AI stuff's going to do for the Mac. So maybe Mac OS will get some of this same sort of stuff. I didn't think about it the other day. I'm like, I was trying to do something and my phone wasn't around and my Mac was here and had a microphone open and I'm like, why don't we have the bugger lugs on the Mac? Probably because they saw what happened with Windows Cortana and went, yeah, we're not touching that. But that'd be cool if I could just yell at my Mac from across the room saying, hey, can you set, like, this is what I want AI to do. Hey, Mac, can you go into Ecamm Live and set up a new broadcast, create a thumbnail based on my usual thumbnail format for GarageBand Weekly for next week? I'll be covering the Electro Funk pack, the Prismatica pack. Can you do that for me? And then it goes and it gets my head and it gets the pack and it gets all the stuff. That's what I want. I want AI to actually make my life better and easier and do the stuff that I just have to sit there and clonk, 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 just repeat myself doing the same thing all the time. I want it to learn. I want it to use machine learning to learn how I do things and then do them for me rather than trying to replace the fun stuff that I want to do. Is anyone with me on that? No. So they have. Well, there you go. That maybe an M chip phone. I think from what I've read, the M chips are going to like run too hot. So the reason that they have the A series chips in the phone and the M series chips in the Mac is that they run too hot. Then they put the M chip in the iPad. So bug it if I know whether that's actually a possibility. Hello, Sean Chandler. Thank you for being here, my friend. And hello to Omni Collective Creativity. I hope you are well as well, my friend. Alrighty, Cheetos or chips, Doritos. Yeah, so they're the only chips that I care about are the ones I can shove in my face. Don't shove actual chips in your face. It's a bad idea. So there you go. We got some extra news. I didn't even clue into that because, to be honest, not that it's not news, but all that's going to happen now is everyone's going to speculate about stuff. Nothing's ever as good or as bad. I've kind of realized this over time, but nothing's ever as hyped as they would want you to think it is with the hype up that they're going to do. And nothing's ever as bad as you first think it is. Case in point, yesterday I realized, hey, I haven't had any emails. It's been pretty quiet on my email inbox for a few days. Went in and went, oh, that's because my email service hasn't been pulling my emails down from my business account. I'm like, oh no, this is going to take me like a whole day of troubleshooting to work it out. And I went into Gmail and it's like, yes, your server couldn't be authenticated. And I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And I went into Hover and I'm like, which I use hover.com for my domain. And I'm like, oh, I'll check all the SSL and the port settings and all this. I'm like, oh, this is too complicated. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I reset my password because I do that every now and then with all my major services because you should. Two-factor authentication, people. Change your password, two-factor. So I did that, but I didn't change it in my settings in Gmail. So all I had to do was type my password in twice for the send and the receive, hit enter, and it was fixed. So sometimes you can freak out, and you can worry, and you can procrastinate, and you can like, oh, woe is me, or you just freaking get on with it, find out what the problem is, and fix it. And very rarely is the problem anywhere near as big as what you first think it is when you're going in. In my opinion, experience. It's dynamic throw with the wonderful, what is it, a water tower grain solo, something like that, from your hometown. What did I call it? A two-story outhouse. Yeah, apologize for that. It's cool now because the new system I'm using here, I see your little logos a little bit bigger on my screen, so it works well. Let us. What was the other news and notes that I had? Oh, for my iPad users, iPad and iOS users. If you know me and you know this channel well, I use my phone and my iPad to edit basically everything you see here. If it's not a live stream, if you're not watching it live or watching it VOD, the video on demand afterwards, it's edited on my phone or my iPad because I've been using LumaFusion for like 5 years. Ever since I stopped, see, I was an early adopter. I stopped suckling at the Adobe teat way back in 2019, and I switched over from Adobe Premiere Pro on my PC over to LumaFusion on my iPhone and iPad because it just like I was shooting stuff on my iPhone. It's all natively within the Apple ecosystem. It just worked. It did what I needed it to do. It's like iMovie on steroids. It's really a good platform. A lot of people complain about it, just like they do with GarageBand and Logic, because it doesn't do absolutely everything that everyone ever wanted in the history of the world. But it definitely does the basics that I need. Multi-track audio, multi-track video, nice cutting tools, quick, slick interface, able to just export straight into your photo library, and then you can upload from there. So I use LumaFusion. Their version 5, which has been a long time coming and waiting, has just been released. And I haven't even looked at it yet because, like I tell you, with everything else, I got a business to run here, and until I hit the end of my week's worth of work, where I can actually take a couple of days where I can update and upgrade, I ain't touching nothing. So yeah, like all these things, make sure that you keep in mind that every little iterative change that you make to any software, to any operating system, to any hardware setup. Think about John's with his password. How that the chain of events of me. What if like who can we say? What if Gibson wanted to send me a Les Paul and they're like, "Hey Johns, we think you're doing really well. Have a free Les Paul, but you got to reply to this email within 24 hours." And I didn't get it because I had that one password thing. That would be bad. So yeah, don't make any changes when you're doing important work. Don't make any changes. And I say that because the last thing that I wanted to talk about is have I gone way out of sync? The last thing I wanted to talk about is that Songtember is just around the corner. So you don't. And see, this is why I'm like, I'm doing. I'm just using this new program, and now it's showing my preview as being like 4 seconds out of whack. So let me know if my voice is not matching my picture because I got some troubleshooting to do if that's the case. But yeah, Songtember is just around the corner. Don't make any major, massive changes to anything that you're using at the moment because, yeah, you don't want to be in a position where things are not going to be working for you at the start of a big month-long thing where we're all creating and recording and completing music. Yeah, it is totally out of sync, isn't it? It's really distracting because it's about 3 seconds. I wonder if there's anything I can do to fix this on the fly. Because it did this the other day when I was using the second monitor to show things, but then it fixed itself. If I come over to here, yeah, it's the same thing over there. And if I come down to here, it's the same thing down here. Yeah, it's out of sync entirely. Joy. So, and I don't know if I can, I'm not sure. Hello, Norman and Lee. Yeah, we are out of sync now. I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix this because it's not like StreamYard. I can't close it and reopen it. So did I update? Yeah, maybe I need a Mac OS update. No, I've got the latest version of Ecamm. It's just out of sync entirely. Yeah, well, that's right. It'll be like a movie, and we'll just have to overdub it. I wonder if I can bail and jump over into restart your camera. That could be an idea. Let's see. Can we? There is a camera option in here. But bear with me. This is always going to be the case. We're always going to have some fun times here. It might just be see, I don't even know where my camera's plugged in at the moment because I might be reaching up and unplugging and plugging the camera back in. Let's just see. I'll put the iPad up on the screen. Let's see if the iPad is out of sync or if it's just a camera, if it's an overall lag issue. Now, see, the iPad's perfectly in sync. It's just my camera that has fallen out of sync. Let's turn the volume up there because check this out. It's definitely a camera issue. There you go. So what I'll do, I'll turn it off and on. This is going to be interesting because I've never done this before. This could go horribly wrong. Bear with me. We call this professionalism, folks. We call this getting the job done. How's that? That's better, isn't it? Apart from the lineup. So it's something to do with the Logitech Brio. I'll have to be looking into that. All right, we have some slight out of syncness there now, but it is nowhere near as bad as it was. Well, there's a fun thing we need to work through. Just when you think, what was I just saying before? Nothing's ever as good or as bad as you first think. But yeah, I'll have to work out why it's doing that. It's probably just an update thing. There's probably some settings in there that I haven't played with. There is definitely audio and video sync in there somewhere. So we will go with it. We'll do our thing and hope for the best. And there you go. There's another tick for the universal fix. Have you turned it off? Hello, IT. Have you turned it off and on? Yeah, it works ridiculously often with things like that just fall away. So I'll play with that. For me, it'll just be changing the USB port that the camera's plugged into, because sometimes it can be as simple as that. Don't ask questions. Just try different things and see how it goes. That's right. Got the dubbing, the ADR, the automatic dialogue replacement. Definitely a lot better than it was before. Except that I need to redo because you can see there you go. You could see the webcam settings weren't enabled again, so I needed to re-enable them. Maybe it's to do with that. Maybe I need to play around because I use a third-party app called Webcam Settings, and that's what does all my effects here. Why don't I know? I'm the same. I both hate and love technology. It is both my favorite and my least favorite thing in the world, in equal increments at various different times. Why don't we jump in? Where are we at? Yeah, we're 18 minutes in. Didn't have any other real news and notes to talk about, so let's dive in here and give this a spin. Can we just confirm? Let me know if we're getting audio through here. So that audio is coming through okay. It seems all good at my end. But again, you are my guinea pigs. We are testing this out today. I didn't tell you that you were coming to a test run of the show, but you are. So it looks like it's all good. So what are we looking at today? We're looking at my least favorite sound pack of all time. And I'm going to try and work out whether it's actually as bad as I thought it was or whether it's all right. So we're going to come over here, and the pack we are looking at here in the sound library, which of course is not coming up. There we go. It is the Keyboard collection. So what do they say about the Keyboard collection? It is 57 keyboard instruments and over 150 Apple loops. So keyboards have always been a classic songwriting tool, blah, 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 blah. So it's a 122 megabyte pack. And the problem I had with this pack originally was that it only seemed to have sounds that were just samples, like as if you just sampled them yourself, which I guess is okay and kind of old school. But I didn't love it at the time. I didn't work it. Let's come in here to the more settings, and I'll show you how to get to just these ones. If we come back to our main categories and we go to recently downloaded, we can actually come down here and find the Keyboard collection. And you got all of these. So you've got the 80s bitrate synth, 80s sine synth, signature keyboard, wave bells, and there's a whole heap of them in here. So let's just find some. Let's just do a random bonk. We're going with whatever this was. This is a more modulation piano. And here's my problem. Okay, it doesn't seem to be as bad as it was when I first used it, but When I did this originally, let's just find another one and see if it's still the old VHS tape synth. This is kind of cool. Okay, it is a lot better than these. I think there are like 10 source sample for all the keyboards. Maybe this is what it is, because I did notice that at some point all these packs were updated. So perhaps they actually realized how crap some of these were and they added in like additional octave samples, because when I first demonstrated this pack, I'm almost sure that I played some of these and I was like, why does it sound so bad? Why is it when it's... Yeah, these are much, much, much better. Okay, maybe we're going to be all right. Let's create a bit of an 80s style sound here. Let's go with the 80s sine synth. And let's get a arpeggio going on, shall we? To start things off. We'll do something in C minor because that's the easiest. Let's just hit record and see what we get. All right, we need a different sort of one. That's going to be cool. All right, here's a tip. For the arpeggio, the arpeggiator that we use here, sometimes you need to just set it and then see what's going to work, see what's going to actually sound okay, and then find the start point of the arpeggiator and then just trim it yourself, because it often doesn't line up perfectly with the start. We've lost the sync again. We're floating. I'm a floating head. Welcome back to the overdub version of the show. We'll just have to go with it. So we just need to find the bottom one. So is it there? Yeah, so those ones are the ones we want. We will tap it, we will split it, we will delete it, and move this back to the front. And we'll just do this over and over again. So we'll create something in C minor here. We'll loop it out for the 8 bars or so that we've got here. There we go, 8 bars, and... let's go with that. Let's add in another track here, so we can hit the plus button and go back into our keyboard. More instrument sounds. We need some 80s wave bells, right? All right, let's just play something in here that's going to match this. That looks all good in the hood. Righty. Hello, Jeff. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, the piano sounded pretty good, actually. In hindsight, it's not bad. All right, let us grab another one and see if we can build something out here, and then we'll have a look at the loops. But this is why you revisit things, because this is actually a lot better than what I thought when I first checked out this pack. Let's record some chords with this synth. All right, I think we might just want to hang out on the C minor chord with this instead. I was trying to do some pads there, but I've changed things up a bit. All right, let's just use this as our basis for that one. And we should be able to just drag the front of that to there. Did I get the timing right on that first one? No. So we just need to edit that. Tap it. Edit it. So yeah, I need to work out why I'm getting the dubbiness going on here, because it didn't happen on the happy hour. So it's something to do with the way I've set things up here with the multiple different things. I wonder if I'm just going to float out by the end of the show. I'm going to be 10 seconds out of sync. That could be fun. And by fun, I mean frustrating. But we'll get there. All right, let's make this little stabs here that are going to go throughout. All right, we need to quantize this. So we'll go in here to our track settings. We'll put our quantization. It's just going to be straight 8th note, and then we'll loop it out. Brrr. Need to quantize this one too to get it in the right spots. Yeah, so these sounds are actually all really nice. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's take a listen to the loops, which is something I should have done before I did these because it would have made more sense to start with your Apple loops. We'll come out of here, we'll filter this. We will filter it by the sound packs, and we want just the keyboard collection. Let's see if any of the loops that we're going to get in here are going to match this. Now, we can go with the scale here, so we will go minor scale this time, just to make sure. And we'll see. That's pretty good. Okay, these are really great. Let's just see if this is going to work with us. Okay, I kind of like that. Okay, so it's a MIDI loop that it's brought in here. That's interesting. It sounded different when we had it over here. That's weird. So yeah, all of these are MIDI loops, which is interesting, which makes them actually really useful because that's cool. Let's play with this. All right, we need to get rid of these bells because they don't work with what we've got here. We've built more of a pad out here. That sounds kind of epic. I like it. Let's just play around with a couple more here. Got the growing up keys. That sounds really cool too. These are all excellent. What was I thinking? Yeah, let's just add some drums to this so that we can like see what this will sound like as more of an overall track. 'Cause we don't have any drums in this pack particularly, but if we go to one of our 80s style drum sounds here, we'll go electronic and we'll go like a modern disco. No, maybe we need something a bit darker, don't we? Maybe something along those lines. All right, I just added a few more kicks in there because I thought it needed a bit more of a funky vibe. So I'm just going to grab these and split it out there. Whoop, didn't finish my split. Split it, tap it, delete it. All right, bring this back over here and loop it. All right, so I think this will sound kind of funky. All right, I don't think we need all those claps. I like the tink tinks there. We'll just simplify this down a little bit. And maybe get rid of the sticks as well. Tap. No, they were kind of cool. Yeah, maybe get rid of this snare sound. Tap and hold, drag a box, tap it. All right, something a bit simpler here. Yeah, now it's like a rap, trap kind of beat, isn't it? So yeah, you could use this to make some interesting beats. Needs some bass, doesn't it? Do we have any bass sounds in here? Let's go back to our keyboard and see if we can find something from this pack that's more of a bass sound. Or something we can use as a bass sound. We don't have any specific basses by the looks of it, but I'm sure we can find something that we can use low down. What's the liquid synth key? This could work as a bass. Or not. Now we need something a little bit more heavy, don't we? Industrial design organ. Yeah, I reckon if we... I can't even hear that. No, we need something different. Guitar versus clav. Oh, we closed it. That could be interesting. Danny Gablev, I still have no idea what the Chapman stick is. You've mentioned it a few times. It's about a 2-second delay, isn't it? With my voice and the video and the audio, which is just odd that it just slipped out to a 2-second delay and just stayed there. When I unplugged it and plugged it back in, it was fine. All right, let's just put in a little like some sort of bass line like this. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Probably could go down an octave, but that's the beautiful part of using all these MIDI instruments is you can edit things to your heart's content. Edit it. And, I could have just transposed it, couldn't we? Oh, we'll just pull it down. Oh, I pulled it the wrong way. Undo that. Grab it. Let's see if it's what it sounds like down here. Yeah, no, I don't think any of these sounds are going to actually give us the bass sound that we really want here. So you can obviously mix and match here. If we didn't want to use a sound from there, we can come back out and find a bass sound. Let's get like an alchemy bass, shall we? Maybe it needs like an 8-bit grit kind of sound down here from the 8-bit legends. Oh, no. Oh, there you go. No, Alien Pulse. This one could be fun. Now it's all too low. Now I've put it way down too much. Classic funk. Let's just go with the classic funk synth bass. Anyway, yeah, good sounds. I'm going to go back on my previous comments about this particular pack that I said it was no bueno, and say actually pretty bueno. Actually, not bueno at all. So there it is. That is the pack. Let's come back to my out of sync face over here. If you do have any questions, feel free to throw them in here. Some of the keyboard instruments have additional effects and other tweaks when loaded from the loops. Could be useful to get the most out of them. Yeah, and that's the other thing. So while you mentioned that, that's a good point, Ed. I should probably show that, yeah, even if you load in one of these that we did with the loops, you can then, of course, go to, well, that's the drums. You can then, of course, go to the instrument and you can tweak the tones over here. So if we just say solo this one out, to listen to these growing up keys. which sound bloody awesome. I'm super impressed. Then we want more delay, more age. You can get the old school like honky tonk sound. That's kind of cool. Throw the release out there so you've got like a nice long tail. Oh, you can pump up the tone. Very nice. By the way, is my stereo set up okay? Are you hearing that all on the left, or is it mixing it down to mono? Be interested to know if you're getting the full stereo effect on that one. So yeah, excellent. This is why we do these things live. Excellent additional tip there from Ed Z. A couple of them have the gain effect added when they are loaded from the loop, for example. Oh yeah, and so they actually have plugins over here. They do too. Look at that. So there you go. It's got the gain effect on there. So you can actually play around with that. It's got tape delay, stereo delay. So that's cool. See, Ed's the man. Ed should be running this show. He'd probably be in sync as well. Let's just fix that comment. There you go. You can tell this is a work in progress. I was listening to my song Work in Progress today, back and on the left. There you go, all on the left. Excellent. So at least my stereo, at least the audio is working. Hooray for small wins there. I'm just going to try something here real quick, and I'm going to close my webcam settings app and see if that does anything to fix my sync. Doesn't seem to have. Seems to have done nothing. It does. The acid, the glasses, the goggles, they do nothing. In fact, if anything, I'm kind of more out of sync now. Let's reload it and see if we come into this. Yeah, there's no change. If you do have any final questions, please feel free to ask them right here, and I can answer those in beautiful unsynced glory while I play around with my camera settings here. So feel free to do that. I'm just seeing if there's anything in here that I can adjust in real time about the delay of the camera to get it working better. But again, I'm learning as I go here. This is my way of learning. And you could say, Johns, why don't you actually just, do this without it being a live show so we don't have to deal with this? And I'm like, it's a great, I'll take that as advice and probably not do it. All right, so no, I can't seem to see any of the settings here that I can adjust on the fly that will help with this. There are some delay settings in here, and there's a whole lot of settings in here that I have to play around with in my time. Fade out, no, there's nothing there. We will see how we go. Yeah, it does sound like the Eurythmics, doesn't it? Sweet dreams are made of this. Exactly, it's a teaching moment, and it's why I say to you, don't be like me and don't jump into things that are more complex than what you actually need them to be, because I didn't need to go to this. I did need to eventually, and I will get it sorted. I'm not the only person that's using this exact setup with a Logitech Brio on a Mac. I just need to work out why it's doing that and what I can do to fix it. We might finish early on that note, so I can go and do some troubleshooting. And if we don't have any final questions, I might go and have an early mark here today. If you're watching on the replay, again, apologies for the slight delay in the audio. Maybe what I do see is I re-edit this and re-release it and resync the audio. Yeah, I can't go back to StreamYard, unfortunately. It's and look, maybe I will. I don't really want to have to pay for two different platforms. This is definitely better. The audio quality is definitely better. And when it's in sync, the video quality is definitely better using it here. Actually, let me just change one more final thing. There's some camera options here. If I change this one, is that going to do anything? Oh, there you go. I had the, oh, hang on, I turned it off and on. So I changed it from using the maximum resolution. There you go, and I turned it off again. All right, we're good. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Again, turn off the Mac, turn the Mac off and back on again. Okay, so there was one camera option there where I had used the max resolution. So I was using the 4K resolution, and it was having me way out of sync. So maybe that's the button. I'll just turn it back on. I mean, it looks better, But if this is my camera and it floats out of sync, or if I'm a little bit duller like this, the difference is not that much. And let's be honest, this isn't a face that's going to benefit from ultra high resolution. Without being self-deprecating, it's not the focus of the channel is how I look on the camera. So there you go. Thank you, because we've been troubleshooting and we worked through things, and we will get there with the new setup. I wanted to get all this tested. Look, Songtember will probably be the majority of it on StreamYard. I also have a new broadband service that I'm about to order. So we're trying a third provider to see if we can get slightly better quality of service. Although today, just as I'm like, yeah, it's the end, I'm definitely leaving, it's actually pretty good. Like apart from the sync issues, and you can tell me if otherwise, apart from the sync issues, the quality's been pretty good. And by the way, I normally do these sort of testings with my Patreon folks, and I did do one last week with the Patreon crew. So thanks to Tom and Mark and others who've helped out with that. But I'm like, I don't want them to be the only guinea pigs. I'm like, the GarageBand Weekly crew, they're a good bunch. They can help me with this guinea pigging as well. So what have we learned here today? We've learned that, yeah, like most things in life, exactly as I said at the start, nothing's ever as bad or as hard as you think it is. Nothing's ever as good or amazing as perhaps the hype suggests, especially when it comes from big companies that want to tell you that they're glowing up. And oh God, because sorry, I'll just show you. Since we have it working now and we have a bit of time, let me just show you. Let me show you a thing or two here, because it was the Canva. I used the Canva. I guess I call it the Canva. I've got to log back in. Damn it. I've changed all these passwords, and everything I'm using now, I have to log back in. It's like, oh, you got to log in and do your two-factor and get yourself all set up. But yeah, like, why does everything have to be a glow up at the moment? Like, here's Canva ready for a glow up, and now Apple are glowing up. Turn on the glow for your team. It's like, why has everything got to be a glow up? Why do things always have to make me feel so old and out of it? What was it that my kids were saying yesterday? No, actually, it was my wife. She was saying demure. Apparently, the new words are demure and something. I've forgotten the second word. But it's like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, oh, it's exhausting. I know what it means, like as in the English words, but I'm assuming the kids aren't using it to mean that. And then my kids were like, oh, actually, it kind of just does mean that. Okay, whatever. Skibbity toilet. Let's go. So yeah, I'm out of it. But yeah, old man yelling at clouds to fill in a little bit of extra show here. Yes, you can. You can join the Patreon. You can be like Mark. You can be like Tom. You can be cool and join the Patreon. That almost rhymed. And as I'm looking at this, I realize I got to fix up this because that black doesn't match that black. Now I'm just nitpicking at my own thing. At least demure is an actual word. I know. Use the hip and happen and buzzwords. And look, we did back in the day, but we had cool words like rad and wicked and gnarly. We didn't make up these silly skibbity words. Anyway, at the risk of sounding like an even older man than I already am, I'm going to pull the plug. We're going to go early. We're going to go out early. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let us take a quick listen. We'll bring the screen back up and see if I'm still going to stay vaguely in sync, which I think I am. Let's take a listen to what we created here with this pack, which I'm actually reasonably impressed with here. Thank you for being here. Remember, be kind to yourself, folks. Even when things don't go 100% to plan, be kind to yourself. There's plenty of other people out there that can criticize you. Be kind to others. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time. Let's do a little wrap over this to finish off, shall we? You're with Pete, he was out of sync, and then he found a setting that made him think that he should probably go with 1080p because 4K was not really full of glee. Bye guys.